Yeah, you said congrats.
Nice.
10 boys.
Nice. There's 10 boys.
You got too horny, and that's why.
I don't want him to come. Jake, how horny does this make you?
Very horny.
It's one big joke, believe me. Minnesota sports in all sorts. You see, they know it's never gonna get easy. You see, they know it's Minnesota, constant pain and misery.
And I'm a part of Al Qaeda.
It's 10K TV. It's one big joke, believe me. Minnesota sports in all sorts.
Dude, he could turn Daniel Jones into Brett Favre.
Minus the penis pics.
You can legally smoke crack.
What is a DVOA?
I went dicks, vaginas, or ass.
I think that's what it is.
Don't know much except to yell.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of 10K TV presented by 10,000 Takes. My name is Boss Man, joined by journalists Jake and Sarge. And surprisingly, a lot to get into today around, which is normally the most dead time of the year, is late June, early July. Just to start it off, if you're wondering why Jake and I are both wearing golf polos, we had a good media day, 3M Open Media Day today. Got to see how the course is going to play. And even though we teed off from like 100 yards further up on every hole, closer than the pros play, but should be a good field this year, Jake.
Yeah, it should be. And I should say it was nice for us to get a look at the course. We got to look at what the Sunday pin position on hole 18 is. That's going to be beneficial
It's
for
fucked.
us.
It's hard.
Because when we do get sponsor exempt and you do see us playing in the 3M Open field, we're going to need to know the placements of everything, and we got a little taste of that today. And that's why we're also going a little earlier today in general, is because we got done, we wrapped up. We had our day off from our full-time jobs, and
Which was nice.
I have hockey again tonight. So, yeah, we're getting after it. We're getting after it earlier today. So, I love
A
it.
bad day on the golf course beats a great day at work.
Correct.
That's the way it's
Facts.
not that we played that bad.
No.
We didn't play great. It was a 4-man scramble. We played with the Save Par podcast guys. That was fun.
Yeah.
We did a little video, played a little battle golf. That'll be coming out. But yeah, it was cool. It was fun.
Yeah. It was great. I'm coming off of my brother's wedding where I didn't have a lot of sleep, and I drank more than I did water, and especially being in a hot weekend and being in black, dark tuxedo all weekend, specifically probably 12-plus hours on Saturday. So I'm probably dehydrated on the brink of death as we speak, but no, not really, but had to be up early. But still, I'd rather be up early playing on the golf course in the sun despite going through all that. And, yeah, it was a good day so
You're
far.
a warrior, Jake.
We're all warriors, Sarge.
Well, while we were on the golf course, a couple key pieces of news dropped for some of our teams, starting with the Wild, specifically the arena, which I think this is what I'm going to call it. I've done this bit with Huntington Bank Stadium, which I'm actually coming around on now, but formerly known as the XL Energy Center. That's just what I'm going to call it, formerly known as the X. It's finally been rebranded. I had a scoop back in May, maybe it was even April, that we were going to be renamed to Treasure Island because XL Energy Center sold its rights, or I guess its contract ran out around the naming rights to the XL Energy Center, where the Wild play. Kind of makes sense for them. They don't really need to market. What are you going to do, like not pay utilities?
Yeah.
So
Come on.
the fact that they sponsored the arena all those years is funny to me, but yeah, obviously they probably had to pay a pretty penny to get extended on that contract, so it went kind of to the open market. I guessed it was going to be, or my source told me that it was going to be Treasure Island Casino. We were going to call it the Island. We were going to get the bird involved. We had this whole fun thing planned, and it got announced today, Grand Casino Arena.
Yep.
It looks like there's like a little pot with a ton of gold coins in it. That's kind of their logo.
Yep, the Grand Casino, Mille Lacs, Hinckley. I mean, they're big-ass casinos, and I
Yeah.
mean, they're well-known of seeing all the commercials and everything, but I just thought Treasure Island made sense because Treasure Island already has so much sponsorship already with the Wild.
Yeah.
So I think we maybe got a little bit we prematurely ejaculated with the calling it the Island and getting excited on that. I think all sources and things pointed to being that. But also, we also did not win the bidding war to get it to be named 10K Takes Arena or 10K Takes Center, Captain's Patch Center.
No.
Unfortunately, the board or whoever made those decisions denied us that, so they went with the Grand Casino.
Yeah,
Whatever.
we fell a little short of funds in the bidding war.
Just a few $100 million.
Yep. But as a positive, though, with it being named Grand Casino Arena, we can call it the G Spot. So for everyone who said that the X is what it'll always be called, well, that's true. We can also call the arena the G Spot. A lot of comments from the 10K audience saying, great, now I can't find it.
Yeah.
Great joke. There's
Great joke, yeah.
there's going to be some good jokes. This is a good thing, people. Yeah. I think it's going to give the arena more money so they can make some of these upgrades because it doesn't sound like the city or the state wants to help with that. They want to make a ton of upgrades, throw up more bars in there, which, hey, maybe more locations to sell Captain's Patch at in the arena. So we look at that as a positive, all thanks to Grand Casino. So, yeah, it's going to be weird. Like I said, I don't know if I'll ever call it anything but the X. It's going to be – that's a muscle that's going to be very hard to undo or to lessen the strength of. I mean, it's been the X our entire lives. So
It's just like when any team name or arena or stadium name change, it's hard. You don't realize kind of how hard it is to get used to another name or go away from another name of just a company named a place. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Exo Energy, but I feel like the Exo Energy Center was the most appropriate name for an arena, at least in Minnesota.
Well, and it made sense too with like the XL Energy power play. Like there was a lot,
lot of
electricity and sports go well together. They go
Especially
hand
hockey.
in hand. Casino, it's like, okay, you could go ruin your life and create a crippling a gambling addiction or watching hockey. They don't really go hand in hand. Now, if sports betting gets legalized in Minnesota, which we've only been trying to do for like the last decade, then I think this is going to make a lot of sense. You could maybe put gambling inside of the arena. Maybe people can live bet using Grand Casino app. I mean, this is stuff that would be even way down the road past approving it legislation-wise. I mean, I know apps take a couple years before you're legally able to do that. But I think there's a lot of opportunity, to mix maybe throw some slot machines in section 102.
Some VLTs.
Like blackjack tables, like in Fargo bars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
not?
just throw a fucking blackjack table up in section 325, up in the, right up in the
dude.
nosebleeds, and just forget about the hockey game and get lost in losing.
Throw poker tables in the club level.
Maybe throw a
And-
high limit table, in the club level, or the
Sport-
suites.
Just some sports betting kiosks too, where you can go and get a slip if you want. And
The custom one lounge just turns into what it is now into basically a mini casino.
yeah, you have like they install like 20 TVs, 50 TVs in there. It looks like a sports book.
Maybe throw a stripper pole in there.
They
So let's
just-
get weird with it,
They
guys.
just slowly take over the X, what formerly known as the X now, and just try to make it like a Grand Casino St.
Yeah.
Paul.
Right.
Just
Or like how Live Golf says golf but louder. Let's do hockey but louder.
Honest to God, guys, these are phenomenal ideas.
No,
Maybe
we
we'll,
should
throw,
no
maybe,
joke.
maybe we'll throw a pool in there. I might be getting a little too ahead of myself now, but
they haven't started renovations yet. We can go to the board or whoever is approving those changes. Hey, can we add some things to this?
yeah. All I'm saying is you're a casino. Your brand is not being family friendly. So let's get weird with it.
Might
That's
as
what
well.
I'm saying.
And it's hockey. It's already a violent game. There's
Right.
already a lot of non-family friendly things that happen. So
Yeah.
yeah, this might be a good thing. Maybe there could be a lot of things that come out of this that we didn't get with the XL
Yeah.
Energy Center name.
Maybe we win a cup now.
Maybe.
Maybe it was the name.
Maybe it was just the damn name. Then we should
Although,
start changing our names in all of our arenas.
PWHL won two championships in there the 2 years that they played in there, but on the men's side, maybe it was the name. Maybe that was the problem.
Yeah, 25 years, 25
Maybe
seasons.
Yeah. Maybe XL Energy is just a loser company. No.
Yeah, XL Energy's
Financial
yeah.
wise, that would contradict what I just said. I think they're not a loser company.
No.
But
I think they're doing well.
speaking of the Wild, the team that plays in the G spot now, which I think I'm just gonna overuse that. I think that's what's gonna come out of this.
The G.
Wow, I guess a lot of stuff in the last week. I'm just gonna highlight some of the big things here in order. So we lost Freddie Gaudreau to Seattle. We traded for a 4th-round pick. Don't hate that. Freddie, great guy. Better guy than hockey player. I think we could say he was not very good his last few seasons. He was sick on shootouts. That was a thing.
That was his bit.
That was his whole thing.
That was
Him
thing
and
he could
Flower
score.
were best friends. That they rode to the rink together. That was fun. But outside of that, just not much production. So I think they unloaded his $2.1 million salary. Didn't retain any of that. So that goes back into the pocket for a couple moves that we made down the road that we'll get to. Jake, your guy Brandon Gaunce was traded to Washington for Cameron Butler.
Yeah, I am devastated.
Who Cameron Butler sounds like a douchebag rich kid who
Doesn't sound like a hockey player to me.
he looks like a hockey
Does he?
player.
I'm
Though. Have you
sure he
seen his
does. I
photo?
don't think I've seen a photo of the
Okay,
guy.
yeah, no, this guy does look like a killer. So I don't hate it. It's funny though because you see the photos of these guys and you're like, wow, he looks like a grown ass man, and then you look and he's like 24.
Yeah,
Whoa. Okay.
Cameron Butler. It sounds like a kid that plays basketball for Duke.
Yeah.
Oh my
Cam
God.
Butler.
Or he's going to Yale to be a lawyer, like
Yeah.
his father was and his grandfather, both at Yale.
His dad is funding the entire
Oh,
his entire
100%.
education.
And his Jeep Wrangler, blacked out
Yeah,
with rubber duckies in the front.
that's what he sounds like.
Declan
God.
Chisholm and a 2025 6th rounder, which they just drafted this weekend, for Chase Prisky, and a 2025 4th rounder. So Chisholm, I posted this, I think, on my personal Twitter, that he was so fun in the sense that he had the ability to just play like the best version of hockey possible as a defenseman, and then 10 seconds later make the most boneheaded, borderline hilarious mistake, like just handing them the puck in the slot in front of our own net. I'm gonna miss him for that. Just when he was playing good, he was one of the best out there. And when he was playing bad, it was kind of funny.
It's laughable.
Great guy. Actually had a very in-depth conversation with him at Cowboy Jacks after a Viking game about various Netflix documentaries. So
You'll miss that.
he seems like the kind of guy, though, now that he's in Washington, he can go see all the sites. Maybe go see all the monuments.
Yeah,
Maybe go to Mount Vernon.
he's gonna enjoy that.
Yeah.
You'll find his other Cowboy Jacks out there. You'll find his other home, and yeah, you'll be playing with Ovi.
Yeah, that's cool.
So,
And,
that's fine for him.
His teammate at one time, Brandon Duhaime, they didn't quite cross timelines.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think Duhaime had already left, or we already traded him away, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then got Chisholm, but yeah, Chisholm wasn't here for very long. What, like a year or less than
Year and a half. Although, you know what, though? Credit to Billy. He got him on waivers.
Mm-hmm.
He was, like, no one wanted him. He was, like, Winnipeg's throwaway child.
Yeah. And when we got
Threw him in a dumpster. He was a dumpster baby.
Yeah, the dumpster baby.
He was a dumpster. I'm a prom night dumpster baby. Family Guy.
That's just, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
no,
that was Declan Chisholm, and we were like, I'll take that dumpster baby.
we'll take a chance on him.
We turned him around into a trade chip. We drafted Theo Hallquist
Halsquith.
from Sweden. So mini Sweden continues to build. We drafted forward Adam Benek,
Center.
forward Lerm Adovsky,
Niram Amadovsky.
another forward. Forward Carter Klippenstein. We really went for all the tough names to pronounce. Not an easy one on here.
Yep.
And defenseman Justin Kipke. So I don't really have much on the draft. I don't know a ton about those guys. I do know that Theo Hallquist was a guy that they were targeting in the mock draft. So to the Athletics mock drafters, shout out, you got it right. You've earned a star.
You earned yourself one Schrute buck.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You got it.
I'm really upset that we didn't go after Mason West, though. I think that would have been
The Edina kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's even worse
I'm repping my Hawks today.
is the
I'm
Blackhawk.
pumped about
The
it.
They got
Blackhawks
him.
got him.
What round did they get him in?
First.
It was the first round they drafted.
Oh, okay. So we wouldn't have gotten him anyways.
Oh, shit. I thought he was going to
so.
drop a little further than that. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're saying the Wild could have maybe drafted him.
They were thinking
Okay.
if he was available in the second round, still we would have gone
Damn,
after.
well,
him.
yeah, you went pretty early then. Dude, I thought it was funny. I was watching a little bit of it on Friday, and I didn't realize how many fucking picks the Islanders had in the first round. They had the first overall, and then they had 15, 16,
Well,
and
they
like
must
17.
have.
They
must
traded
have
a
acquired
lot.
a ton with the Brock Nelson
Yeah.
deal, I'd imagine.
They did. So it's like they're definitely trying to go all in with this draft, and it's like watch none of these guys pan out.
Well, the Islanders
Funny.
play the most boring brand of hockey.
Oh,
like
yes.
there's not a lot. Like enjoy watching the Sharks and the Ducks play way more than I enjoy watching the Islanders play. And the Sharks and Ducks are obviously way worse teams than the Islanders, like record wise. But they've just kind of always been mid. So it is good to see the Islanders say, you know what, we're sick of being boring, and we're gonna get young and fun.
Yeah, kind of like what the Wild started doing about 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
I know we'll get into it. I know there's a lot of arguments that we average being like an older team and have older guys, but I mean the Wild, in its essence, I should say, have some rising young superstars. So,
Yeah.
But that's what New York is probably trying to do, obviously.
Right.
But I want to cheer against them, so I'm going to say it's not going to work for them.
It might not.
It'll work for us. No, I'm sure.
I mean, it's just funny that fans were upset at the draft on Friday. Like they expected Bill to make all these moves and for us to get a first rounder somehow. And the funny thing is that he said in his press conference before the draft, basically like, we're not going to do anything for a first round pick. We're not going to give away someone we have right now for a first rounder.
It wasn't worth it.
He said acquiring Jiricek last year was our first rounder.
Yeah.
Like we traded picks for Jiricek, who was a sixth overall a couple of years ago. Like he's our first rounder. He's our young guy. And people were still like,
Didn't understand.
why didn't we
it.
do anything in the draft? And apparently some calculator gave Billy a C+ grade in the drafting, and people were like mad at the grade.
I hate draft grades.
It's like,
So much.
It's like, do you know each of these players? Like, have you done the in-depth work to determine that you agree with this draft grade? If not, fucking screw the draft grade.
Yeah.
What does it matter?
Yeah, if there's people that didn't, like I was about to say, if you didn't look in depth to each of the players and how they play and their system and if they'll fit in our system and got really analytical with it, you have no say on the draft grade. You can't look
Yeah.
at the grade. A lot of these people didn't watch the draft. They probably just saw the list of players and then saw a draft grade that some stupid AI calculator analyst said.
Right.
And they start freaking out.
Based on
Bill Guerin.
None of these guys have even played an NHL game yet. We can't judge their performance in the NHL.
Exactly.
Also, too, I'm sick of getting excited for the draft because it's our time to win now. I'm sick of thinking about down the road.
No,
and,
same.
it is important, and it's Bill and Judd Brackett's job to do that. But from a fan's perspective, I'm looking at right now.
Yep.
And to me, I'm sorry, the draft was pretty irrelevant.
Yeah.
It wasn't a very loaded class,
Wasn't.
and we don't need future assets. We need guys so we can fucking win
Yep.
right now.
Because we have the team to do it right now.
The bones
you
are
see
there.
The potential. You see, the foundation is there with the young guys, adding some old veterans, all that. Yeah, I was in the same boat. I was totally fine with them not picking in the first round or trading up because, the draft wasn't very loaded. In the NHL, though, hockey, I feel like the draft, it's not like I think it's so much different than the NFL. Like, you can get great players in the fifth, sixth round.
Kirill was a fifth rounder.
Yeah, fourth rounder, but still.
Fourth rounder? Okay,
or
yeah.
fifth round. Maybe he was. But, you can get so many good players all the way down to the last round. It's very spread out. And, I'm sick and tired of thinking about rebuilding and all this bullshit. It's like with the Vikings.
Yeah.
About
Thinking about the
McCarthy's
future
a
more than the
4-year
right
plan.
now.
Yeah, we have a good enough team to win right now. I think with the Wild, there's a foundation there. I know they've been frustrating. I know it. They had a record where they made it to the first round 10 years and 8 of 10 years and didn't make it out. That's frustrating, but they clearly are good enough to compete in one of the most difficult leagues in the world in hockey and can make the playoffs. They just are a couple pieces away, and that Tarasenko thing could be one thing, and we'll see what happens in free agency.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's nothing. I'm not worried about how they drafted this year. It's just not a thought of mine.
So that's, the next thing you just mentioned, traded for Vladimir Tarasenko, a guy I never would have thought would wear a Wild sweater. That one came out of left field. I thought he was signed with the Red Wings for a little bit. I thought he was honestly going to retire there. For future considerations. So that's That's basically a loophole to signing a free agent before July 1st, right? Is
Yep.
basically like we're going to eat his contract because you guys obviously want to make more room in salary. Yeah, we'll take Tarasenko and we'll just say we'll give you a high five down the road the next time we see you in person. Is that basically what future considerations are?
Or someone's going to buy somebody a beer.
Yeah.
Bill Guerin's like, hey, I'll buy you a beer later.
Yeah.
if we win a cup with them.
Yeah.
Okay, deal.
Next
Take
time
'em.
we play you, dinner's on us.
Yeah, seriously.
That's something we'll consider in the future.
We'll get you a beer. We'll go to Tootsie's in
next-
Nashville.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the that is always funny when I hear future considerations, and it's really only in the NHL you see that. The NFL, I think, and other leagues do that, but they're more specific on what
Yeah.
that means. Like, oh, it's a conditional, this pick, that pick. Future considerations can mean literally anything.
Well, and it's like the loopholes in leagues are so funny, like because this is essentially a free agency move. I mean,
It is.
It's signing a free agent. It's signing a guy who clearly was not going to re-sign where he was, and now he's signing for us. But we had to give something to call it a trade, so we're like, yeah, we'll give you another goalie if we just happen to have one stumble in the locker room. Like maybe
Yeah.
we'll throw him at our AHL team. We'll throw into your AHL team. Or
I think there is some sort of legality thing. It depends on.
there's probably like a
how-
minimum.
There's something where if we get to the second or third round, we have to give them something of more value. It's something like that. Like there is a legality thing behind it that we're required to get, that we probably disclose with the NHL. It's probably a list of 10 things depending on how he does or something. I don't know.
I'm asking Gemini.
Gemini.
So in the NHL trades, future considerations typically means a trade where some aspect of the deal, like a player or draft pick, is not finalized at the time of the trade and it will be determined at a later date. So it's basically like an IOU.
It is. Those are IU, sir. Those are just as good as money. You should
Yeah.
hold on to those.
It can be draft picks. It can be a PTBNL. Doesn't feel like we need an acronym for this. Players to be named later. Cap relief and roster flexibility, so you could just eat maybe like 25% of a guy's contract on their team, just pay cash to theirs. But yeah, it's basically like
I know it's
circumventing the date.
yeah. It's honestly like pulling out a loan,
Yeah,
and like we'll pay you back later.
yeah.
Like we pulled out a loan.
but we have to do this so that no one can do it tomorrow on July 1st.
Yeah,
which is when
exactly.
free agency opens up. It is funny they could have waited a day to do this.
I know.
But I guess like Detroit wanted something for. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't shop him for at least like a third or fourth rounder. You would have thought. I mean, I know he's old, but
I felt like they got a pick. I mean, that might be entailed in the future considerations in some way. I don't know.
It might be considered in the future.
It's got to be something to do with how well he performs, and then they'll figure it out.
Yeah. So that's pretty much everything that happened in the last week. I don't think I missed anything.
Well, that's everything with the Wild so far.
Billy just said he said for everyone not to freak out, which I know everyone's going to freak out tomorrow when we don't announce a Kaprizov extension. Everyone's going to just start assuming the worst and probably start using AI images to generate which team he'll play for next.
Even though people need to understand, like we don't need to extend him in this offseason.
No.
I think it's ideal we can,
Yeah.
but we don't need to because how many more years in his contract does he have?
I think one.
Is it just one?
Yeah.
So we could wait to re-sign him next year if we really want to, and I think that
It sounds like they're going to do it this offseason, but
Is that
it's not going to happen like right away.
no, it's not. I think it depends on who they get. Because I think from what we're hearing from Russo, and I think it makes sense from their depth chart and everything they're looking where they're standing, they need a center, and they're probably going to go after a center in the free agency. It depends on how much money they throw at the center, and who they're targeting or who they're going to get. Blah blah blah, and then they'll go from there and figure out how much can we afford to extend Kaprizov, yada yada yada.
See, I'm also kind of surprised they didn't wait until like during the season or until. Because it's weird. It's just funny that you hear all these GMs say this is one of the first ever free agencies where every team is trying to get better. No one's trying to sell.
Yeah.
So, like you saw, Ekblad is re-signing. Sam Bennett re-signed for 8x8. So,
Yep.
RIP to that one. Marchand, who knows? I don't think he was really ever an option for the Wild, so that one doesn't even matter. Like, it's just crazy. Yeah, we mentioned it in the past on this show that, we've been waiting for this day tomorrow since like 2020, and there's just not really a lot of free agents available. Mitch Marner, but it sounds like Vegas is probably going to sign him, or they're in a bidding war with Toronto. So it's just weird. It kind of sucks, but also I wouldn't mind keeping some money laying around for a deadline move, or for something like during the year where a team starts to suck and they go into sell mode. They sell their best player, one of their best players, for a draft pick or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Next year is Carrillo's last year, so 25, 26. And then he's unrestricted, so they're
going to get it done this offseason.
I think they will.
should.
And,
He wants,
they want him in the long
here's
term.
what
He wants
they've
to say
said.
they're going to.
Guerin feels positive about it. Guerin said that Carrillo's agent feels positive about it. Carrillo really feels positive about it.
Yeah. It's got to get to a number. I don't think they've really started negotiating yet. I mean, they probably have a little bit, but I don't think they've gone deep into it. I don't think it's a concern right now that they haven't already extended him. I think it's just they're probably going to start talks and, starting tomorrow or next week or after the 4th,
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be fine. Last topic on that is what we do about our boy Marco Rossi. Kind of a weird situation there. For those who haven't followed it, the Wild offered him 5x5, I think earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And his camp said no. He wants to be making boldy numbers. He wants at least 7. I've seen some of those sites, the same ones we were just ripping on, that generate draft grades.
Yeah.
Put him at like 6 million at the highest level. So according to his stats and his output, I think we gave him a fair deal. Kind of a weird situation. Technically tomorrow he could get offer sheeted. You know how that works?
Yeah.
So if another team, I believe, since we offered him 5x5, another team offers him a better deal, then they basically get him for free. Not for free, obviously, for the money they'd offer, but that whole situation's kind of weird. I don't see a team doing that. I know Billy's tried to shop him. He's probably still trying.
Yeah.
So who
what you want
knows?
for Marco?
I think you got to re-sign him, even if it's for like 2 or 3 years at 5 or 6. I don't know. It's such a weird.
Yeah, people hate on the guy. I think he's definitely had some good games. I think he still has so much more potential. He's still a young player.
He's had two. He's basically had 2 full seasons in the NHL.
Yeah, after coming off of his injury situations and his COVID stuff and complications that he had a few years ago too. Like, I think he's had some really good games, and I still think he's developing. It's just I don't think you want to give him a ton of money and put an investment into a guy that hasn't, I guess, fully proven himself. But
Right.
I don't think you could. People are like wanting to give up on him.
Right.
It's like he's still a good player. I mean, he didn't maybe come out into the in the playoffs like we all wanted to, but a lot of players didn't step up, near the end. So it's like I think they just need to. Now that we're out of cap hell, like just build around him. We can build depth. So I don't know. If we get him for the right price, I'm fine keeping
can
him.
always trade him later, but
Yeah.
I mean, if he's asking for $7 million, that's a little crazy.
Yeah.
But if you can convince him to take 5 for a couple more years and really prove his worth, then maybe after that contract, if he's a solid like second line center, then boom, you can make $7 million a
Yeah.
year. You've earned it. But you got to have more than just one really good season.
Yeah.
2 good, decent seasons. So
Yeah.
I kind of get both sides to it. But let's move on to the Wolves. So some good stuff coming out of there too. A-Rod and Mark Lore have officially taken over the team, which I thought they had already done that like a while
Yeah, I think
ago.
it's like official now.
Yeah, because they had to go through litigation, right?
Yep.
There was that whole thing, or arbitration. I get those 2 law words
And
confused. But
Taylor.
and it was pretty cool. The first thing they said was, we're not going to move the team. They kind of came out and did like a ton of media interviews, and in one of the first videos they posted, they're like, we're not going anywhere.
Sorry.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Is that a ringtone?
No, don't worry about it. That was an alarm.
Was that like what song was that?
Louie.
Okay. Louie.
No, different one.
Oh, it's a different Louie.
Yeah.
Okay, never
Sorry
mind.
about that.
Sidetracked.
That was from my nap the other day.
Okay, good.
The other day. Is it a repeating nap alarm?
Yeah, I haven't shut it off in 2 days, so that's 2. I just shut it off, so
Okay.
Okay.
My bad.
Now we're good.
No, you're good.
We're back.
Yeah, so they're not moving the team, but I feel like people are still worried they're going to move the team.
They can always. I mean, they're the owners. They could wake up a year from now and be like, let's move the team.
Yeah, Vegas sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah. But I heard. I thought I saw somewhere that A-Rod and Mark Lord did put together some committee or something for a new arena.
Yes,
Something they put together an offer, not an offer, but like an exploratory committee or something.
they heard last week's episode where everyone was saying the Target Center fucking sucks, and
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, it's time to upgrade.
Yeah, you know what? These kids, especially that fucked up guy, is right.
Yeah,
Target
that
Center
really
sucks.
drunk guy on that one random show is right. I think it's time we level this thing and stick $1 billion into it. I was listening about it on KFan, and it sounds like they're gonna have to privately fund it.
Probably.
So they can't get any help from the city or like the government or like the state. So they're gonna have to find private funding. Which good news is a couple of billionaires, probably no other billionaires.
They can find enough investors and
Yeah.
get people to come in and have perks into the arena and all that stuff.
Give a Prestige Worldwide style presentation.
Yep,
Investors, possibly
you. Technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then finish it off. Mark Lore and A-Rod are on the boat doing a rap.
Yeah, they do a rap song about a new arena.
Yeah, right. No, that'd be great. I heard though that the potential site for it would be the site of the former or current, I don't know, the Minneapolis Farmers Market.
Oh yeah.
That is, it's a little further down from North Loop. You can probably see it off one of the highways, honestly.
So what do the farmers market goers think about that? They got
I
to
don't
be
know.
fucking pissed.
Yeah, those fucking people. You come down to St. Paul.
Yeah.
Come down to the St. Paul Farmers Market. Or every other
True.
frickin' city has a farmers market.
Yeah.
You can drive 10 minutes
Hey.
to Hopkins and be fine.
If they complain, just say shut up and dribble.
Yeah, shut up and dribble. But we
You
don't
can buy
play
flowers
basketball.
anywhere, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just
Come
stop.
on.
Go to
We're-
Target and buy flowers.
This team has been in the Western Conference Finals the last 2 years. They get priority.
yeah.
Actually,
Give
just
them an arena.
Just put the farmers market where the current Target Center is.
Yeah, you know what? Level that out. Bring the farmers market to that area. I know maybe they wouldn't be too fond of that. Maybe that area gets a little more sketchy. where
Yeah.
the Target Center is, but you know what? Just
what?
go there.
Buy a cacti and a plant and some flowers and whatever else you buy there, and then go slam a few Guinnesses at O'Donovan's right down the road there from the Target Center.
Yeah, or get a boot at Glick's.
Yeah, or go to the Twins game and get disappointed.
Yeah, right.
So we had the NBA draft this weekend as well. 2 picks: Joan Beringer.
Jordan Beringer.
I didn't even try on.
Yeah, I forgot someone said the
pronunciation.
pronunciation. But
All
it's
I know
French.
is he's basically Rudy 2.0 is kind of what everyone's saying. The good sides of Rudy. I've heard a young Giannis. The only reason I say Rudy 2.0 is because he's tall and he's from France.
Yeah, and people.
I really
were-
hope that the rest of the stuff doesn't come with it.
Well, people are really upset because like he only had been playing basketball for 3 years. 'Cause he was a soccer player.
Yeah,
He grew out of his cleats or something. Couldn't find cleats, so
but he's 6'11".
he's fucking huge.
There's a certain height, I believe, where you can, if you haven't played basketball already, you can figure out how to be good at
Yeah.
basketball.
Well,
I totally agree with that.
I feel like it's guys like this though that weirdly become really good or turn out to be really good because it shows athleticism. You play soccer your entire life, especially at that size, and you can just transition to basketball and be this good to be drafted.
You're probably in good shape
That's-
if you played soccer.
Yeah, that's a testament to how athletic you are, I feel like.
Yeah.
People are ripping on him like, oh, he doesn't have a lot of experience with basketball or whatever. I'm like, well, he did just get drafted, so that's something you never did. Firstly, none of us got, all these people complaining never got drafted. Let's put that out there. You were never good enough at basketball. None of us were. And yeah, he's a tall dude, and he played soccer. That says a lot about him.
Apparently being 6'11", which, this sounds crazy, is undersized for the center position in the NBA, which I do believe, but is just bananas reading it out loud. That being 6'11" is short for a center.
That actually isn't. I would think that'd been average at least.
Yeah.
At least average. Like you don't find a lot of guys over that. I mean, speaking of 7 foot, I mean that guy we got, the second guy we got, Rocco Zakarsky.
Yep, sounds like he's straight out of the Soviet Union.
Yeah, he's from Brisbane.
Isn't he from Australia?
Brisbane, which is
Oh,
Australia,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, but it does.
He's 7'3",
Yeah, 7'4", 7'3". He's even bigger.
which is probably average
They'll
for
probably
the
say
center
that's
position.
the average for the center position now in the NBA.
Crazy.
So yeah, I mean, two tall guys to complement this roster.
Yeah.
Hopefully, a lot of people are joking. Great, 2 guys to go to the G League or
Yeah.
something. For
Well-
Iowa Wolves are getting some great guys. Like
So this was a good draft year. Next year we have a Rudy year, which it means we have to give up we give up our first rounder until 2029 to Utah every other year. So I call this every other year is a Rudy year.
Okay.
Because we gave 5 first rounders for Rudy or something like
I think
that.
we did something pretty crazy.
20,
for him.
23, 25, 27, 29. 4.
Every other year.
Oh, wait, but we had a first-round pick this year. Wasn't that part of a trade? God, I don't know ball.
I don't know.
All I
feel
know is
rude.
every other
They did-
year until 2029 is what I call a Rudy year, where we don't have a first-rounder. Probably got to acquire one through future considerations.
The future considerations. Bill Guerin has entered the chat.
Nas Reed extended 5 years, 125 mil. Glad they got
That's
that one
huge.
done because I think he took his player option, which means he can just get paid more or be shopped.
And he didn't want to. Clearly likes it here, which
Yeah,
is good.
yeah.
Wanted to stay here. Loves the. I think he knows the fans love him.
Loves the
Nas
towel.
Reed and the towels. He knew that if he'd be disappointing a lot of people. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big contract for that guy, though. He's gonna be He's good. He's good to go.
So our young core, which includes Reed, Ant, and McDaniels, signed until 2029,
Beautiful.
which is the final Rudy year.
Yeah. Take us through that year. That's fine, I guess. That's hopefully going to be worth it enough for not having a first round pick for
Yeah.
every other year.
Also, shout out to Johnny Athletic from The Athletic. I was just kind of reading his article on the signing, and he would just scatter Nas Reed throughout the article.
Really,
He'd
nice.
write like 2 paragraphs, then just put Nas,
Nas
Reed,
Reed.
period. And then he'd write like 2 more paragraphs breaking down the money, then he'd just say Nas Reed.
Nas
again.
Reed. Nas Reed.
It was an enjoyable read.
Yeah.
Nas
That-
Reed.
If he didn't add that, if he didn't add Nas Reed,
That would have killed myself.
it would have not been a good article, Johnny. But he knew. He knew.
No, it was
He needed
yeah,
to add that.
it's good.
No,
Good stuff.
That's good.
Yeah, so the memes can continue too. Just saying Nas Reed all the time.
For at least 5 years, the Nas Reed movement's never going to leave.
No.
That I'm honestly happy because he's a great player. But then the Nas Reed stuff is just
6th man of the year.
never going to end now.
So we also extended Julius Randle, playoff Julius, 3 years, 100 mil. I think that's a good move. Sarge, we basically did what you recommended after
telling you.
Game 5. You're like, let's fucking run it back. I think Tim Connolly agrees with you.
Yeah. I honestly do think if we can get a point guard or Dillingham pans out, I think that's going to change a lot.
Yeah, because
Dillingham
it sounds
gets
like
going.
with these extensions, Nikhil Alexander-Walker is gone.
Which is fine. He's been kind of
And
blah.
yeah,
Or
when he's on and he's shooting threes, he's fun. But
Yep.
outside of that, at least, I mean, probably plays good defense.
he's kind of like a. I don't want to make it sound like he's like bad. He just comes off to me as kind of a Wish.com version of Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah,
Just like
Yeah.
a Walmart Jaden
some of the good
McDaniels.
qualities, but not all of them.
Just good player, but like they kind of look. He kind of has like a similar like look and figure as him too. So that's probably kind of why. But he's like a slightly less talented Jaden McDaniels, and we already have a McDaniels, so it's like there's no need to try to resign the guy. Like,
And you got to give the young guys a shot.
Correct.
Yeah.
You got eventually
Dillingham.
you got to start plugging them in the lineup and
Terrence Shannon.
rotating them around. Yeah. Julius Randle, here's his quote. I definitely found a comfort level and got used to the cold and blizzards in March and all that different type of stuff, he said in May. So it was cool, man. I enjoyed it, and I'll probably spend my summer here. We didn't need KD anyways.
No, we didn't. I didn't. Dude,
No.
yeah, KD.
KD would probably think it's too hot outside today or too cold outside today.
It
and
gets too cold. When
85 degrees out.
When is it hitting 100? Then I'll
Yeah.
feel okay to go outside.
Yeah. They're going to get some of that dry desert air.
Yeah, I know.
So shout out
Sorry,
to
sir.
Julius. Yeah, he does. He likes the weather.
Defending
I
it.
honestly really like that move. Like he was
He was
really
so good in the playoffs.
He was so solid.
And I get people who are like, well, he didn't play his best like in the most important series, but he literally got us to that point.
he did, and
He's averaging 27 points a game.
all of our players kind of shut down. We just overall as a team weren't good enough to beat the Thunder. It really wasn't because of Randall or anything.
Yeah,
We just need to get a couple more pieces. I mean, I don't know what those pieces are. You know, it might be a lot more. We'll never get there with this. I don't know. But it wasn't because of Randall. I thought he was fun to watch, and yeah, I think it's a good signing. I think it's a smart move.
It's just
Gotta do it.
some other silly headlines around the league. It sounds like LeBron is done in LA. Did you read that?
Is he done?
Sounded like I think his contract might have been up. I don't get how the player options work. I think a player has the choice to re-sign, or if they take their option, I think maybe that they can be free agents at that point, but also play one more year in their contract year. Sarge, do you want to Google how player options work in the NBA?
Well, all I know,
They throw that around, and I don't quite understand it, but all I know is like when a player takes his option, he's probably going to leave.
oh yeah.
And he announced, I think he was taking his player option.
I mean, LeBron James could have a player might not even have a player.
It
option.
allows a player to choose whether to exercise the final year of their contract, effectively extending it to becoming a free agent to,
Negotiate a new deal.
yeah. So
Our eyes are dialed right now, dude.
yeah, surprisingly without the glasses, that's a pretty good read from this far away. So yeah, it sounds like LeBron's gone. James Harden is going back to the Clippers.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
just changing teams every year.
That's why I hate the NBA's. These guys just bounce from one team. Well, I didn't win here. I'm going to this team. I didn't win here. It's like rage quitting.
Have you seen the Have you seen the meme
Seriously.
where like the four guys are throwing the little girl around in like a circle?
Yeah.
It's like this is the NBA with their star players every.
know.
Not all of them, but
Not
it's-
all of
it's
them.
like KD, LeBron, Harden especially, like Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook started doing it.
It's just they just toss players.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul for sure.
Well, that was kind of teams didn't want him because he was getting older, but still, he's the same way. I want to win a championship. Go to this team. Didn't win. Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
So LeBron, it sounds like is doing that. I don't know if that actually means anything. He could probably get the Lakers to just hand him like $200 million.
Seriously.
I mean, he did do the whole "we're gonna draft my son" thing. I'd be really pissed if I was the Lakers because it's like, dude, we burned a draft pick on your son,
Burn a draft
so
pick
that
on
you
your
guys
kid.
could take a picture together in the first home game of the year. Which was that against the Wolves?
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I
Correct.
thought. Oh, dude, I would
They
never,
just
I would
leave.
never let that guy hijack my team.
No.
I get like the marketing value, and he still is really good at 40.
Yes.
For a 40-year-old, he's a pretty good basketball player still. But it would be so funny if he did all of this, never won a. Actually, he did win a championship with them in 2020
in the bubble.
when we were in LA.
Yeah, asterisk.
Which is funny because Alex Caruso, who was on that team, came out at his press conference last week and said, "I finally won a real one." So
Yeah.
he just kind of threw shade at the
He
Lakers.
he threw shade at
and
this
then
entire
he was
forward
like, "Guys, relax. I've already had 3 beers." It's like it's not a lot of beers.
team. Yeah, that's not a lot of beers, Caruso. Maybe it is for him.
It is for him for sure.
Yeah,
He's a big weed guy.
big weed guy, small white dude in terms of the NBA.
That's all I got on Ball. Just always interesting in the free agency to see which star is just going to jump to another team. I don't know if you guys had anything else
No.
on the Wolves. It would be cool to hear of a new stadium though. I think they deserve that, especially considering of our major teams. They've produced the most results by far in the playoffs the last few years. I think they've.
Yeah, I think they deserve it.
Yeah.
That upper level is just atrocious.
So bad.
It's just, I mean, if you're sitting in the first 5 rows, sure, but those tickets are outrageously expensive just for
It's-
like the first few rows in the upper
The viewing
level.
is just awful up there. It's
Yeah.
dark. It's
It feels like it just feels super goth.
yeah.
You know, like you feel like you're in a movie theater.
Well, dude,
You know, and
even
then there's just
even
a little light down on the court.
we've been courtside for interviews we've done with Fox 9, and like the court looks like it almost looks old.
I know,
and
you can
creaky, and you
tell,
step
yeah.
on it, and you're like, this is giving off middle school gym vibes.
I know, right? Like I walk in for playing an in-house basketball game,
Yeah.
you know, and
I think there's video evidence of leaks, and it's just
stuff fell from the ceiling.
it served its purpose. But I think it's time to build something new. Maybe just do a land swap with the farmers market and call it a day.
Or if you got to tear it down and start again, I'm sure they can. The arena formerly known as the X can host basketball.
Yeah.
It can host basketball.
Yeah.
I think the Lynx played there for a year when they were doing renovations at Target Center for a summer.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun, actually.
It'd be fun to temporarily do it while they're
Like
building the new one.
maybe for like a year,
Just a year.
or a year or two. Maybe, but it depends on how long they would
Kinda
have
like-
to build a new Target Center.
Well, yeah, kind of like how when they were building U.S. Bank, the
maybe
Vikings,
they have to play there for 2
The
seasons.
Vikings got to experience as Vikings fans outdoor football for a couple years, which
Think about this: St. Paul basketball.
it rhymes.
NBA, can you imagine the NBA fans that aren't like hockey
Oh, my
fans that
God.
go to West 7th? They'd be like, "This is
Dude.
actually kind of cool." Yeah, it is.
But I feel like the initial, like the hardcore Wolves fans would hate it.
they probably would.
They would hate having to come here
They would.
for a basketball game.
'Cause it is-
because I get like the pride of Minneapolis, and I have pride in St. Paul just living here.
Yeah.
But I I feel like people would be up in arms about that.
The people that there is a difference between the Minneapolis vibe and especially diehard basketball fans versus diehard hockey fans that don't
Yeah.
follow each or the other. Like I think we're all are bigger hockey guys, but we still follow the Wolves and are still basketball fans too. It's in a lot of ways, but there are those fans that are just strictly Wolves fans that could give two shits about the Wild and hockey and vice versa.
Vice versa, for sure.
So if they come down
Which
here and start
sucks.
merging, but you know what, that would be a way to unite the
Yeah.
fans. Is if maybe we should go to Mark Lore and A-Rod. You know what, just build an arena at the current site, and for the time being, we can have like kind of a uniting movement by them playing in
Well,
St. Paul.
And if they temporarily did play in St. Paul, the best part about it is we could drink Captain's Patch at the games.
Yeah.
Think about that, folks.
We could.
Captain's Patch, our beer, 4.5% APV, a raspberry lemon shandy with our name on it, brewed by Elm Creek Brewing. It's delicious tasting. You can get it at Target Field, at Gate 34, or in the self-serve cooler behind the Grey Duck deck in left field. You can also get it anywhere at captainspatch.com. All the Total Wines have it. A ton of liquor stores have it. A ton of bars have it. So, folks, get your Captain's Patch, our beer. Help support us. captainspatch.com, 21 plus. Please drink responsibly. All right. I don't know how much you guys watched of this. I was talking to Jake about it earlier, but the Rocket Classic, which it's not the Rocket Mortgage
Wait,
anymore.
so it's not the oh, really?
So let me walk you through this. It's very weird. So they dropped Mortgage from it, but it's still the Rocket Classic. It still has Rocket Mortgage's logo. I also looked it up. Rocket Mortgage is still called Rocket Mortgage.
so
they didn't drop the mortgage from the company name. I think they just tried to make the tournament more hip or cool.
Mortgage, now it sounds like a rocket.
It's the Rocket Classic. Maybe if it's like a NASA type thing, it doesn't. It was kind of weird.
That is a little weird. I noticed that too. Like I'm like, was it like a Mandela effect? Like was it always called the Rocket Classic? But I just thought since it was the Rocket Mortgage Company, it was Rocket Mortgage.
It was
Like, I don't know,
always
it's
called the
weird.
Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought.
This was the tournament that Ricky Fowler won a couple years ago.
and kind of redeemed his career, but has
Yeah.
since done nothing.
Right. So that's
Right.
this tournament is always played at Detroit Country Club, 27 hole or 36 hole course, I believe. Funny thing about it was they're literally redoing the course. They're leveling it and renovating it, which you see happening to a lot of golf courses around the world right now. But during the 5-hole playoff that happened yesterday, bulldozers were like ready to start working. Like apparently they were on and running, like ready to. That's how they weren't wasting any time with renovating this golf course. But what do I got here? Just quick shout out to the guy, probably a hardcore Lion fan, Detroit native, who screamed mashed potatoes and gravy on hole 17, and then later yelled "Do it for Elon," and then yelled Chick-fil-A. And this was the same guy because he was way too aggressive. Like he could have lowered his voice maybe half the amount, and you still would have been able to tell it was the same guy.
Was he doing it at the same hole, or was he following the group? And you could tell, like,
He was following a group.
okay, so you
the
could-
leaders, yeah.
okay, so that totally is the same guy.
And he was piping up during the playoff too.
Yeah, that's so funny. You know, there's people around him that were super annoyed by it,
Yeah.
having us done into the 3M. There's people that either love it and they start laughing, or people that just give you death stares, like they want you to just probably not exist on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Like with their kids and all that. Like it's either or. So, but this guy, has the courage to do it. A few big chance. Good for him.
Yeah. We had a 3-man playoff between Max Grazerman, which I was like, this name sounds so familiar. He's been in the mix at the 3M a couple times.
Yeah, I recognize that name.
Chris Kirk and Pottigear. Pottigear.
His first name Adam. Adam.
Yeah, he's a 20-year-old kid from South Africa.
Yeah.
So
Hit the fucking shit out
he
of the
can
ball.
hit the shit out of the ball. Yeah, he's very good. Or was he? Is he from Australia?
No, he's
South
from
I
South
think
Africa.
it's
You're
South
right.
Africa.
Okay. Yeah, anyways, this was a 3-man playoff. Here's a fun fact for you that I didn't know. Since the history of the Rocket Classic, formerly known as the Rocket Mortgage Classic, there's been a total of 3 playoffs. I don't know how long this tournament's been around. All 3 of those playoffs, including this year, were all 3-man playoffs.
Interesting.
Which you never really see 3-man playoffs. It's usually just 2.
Yeah, and like I find it so weird. Like I was telling you about this earlier, that you feel like there would be not only more playoffs, but more 3-man plus playoffs.
in general.
There's so many players in a field, and the chances, I feel like they could all get the same. It's not that one golfer has to have a different score, like it's a game of football where eventually a team has to have a different score. Like they're all individually playing their game.
Yeah.
I feel like it's got to line up a lot where a few players, at least 3 or 4, finish with the same score after 4 days.
Sarge, do me a favor and Google the record for the most guys in one playoff. Because there was a moment of the U.S. Open, if you guys remember, where there was only a few holes left, and there were like 5 or 6 guys at the same score, which I think at the time was +1.
Oh, this is interesting. So in 2001, at the Nissan Open Dow Genesis Invitational, there were 6 players.
Jeez.
That's insane.
Do you have to play that in 2 groups, or is it like a member guest shootout?
That is a wonderful question. My guess is you would have to play it
You'd
as a
have
6-0.
to.
Because that doesn't make... Yeah, you would have to,
And
right?
they just call it sudden death, which is now called sudden victory. Death is too negative of a
It
word.
happened twice, apparently. So, yeah, the 6-man playoff happened in
Yep.
2001 and then 2021 at the Wyndham Championship. Kevin Kisner won with Brandon. The others in the playoff were Brandon Grace, Adam Scott, Kevin Na, Roger Sloan, and Siwoo Kim.
Jesus.
And then there was another one. I think it was a 4 or 5-way playoff. I remember seeing highlights. It was one with Tiger Woods. I don't know if it was a major. It was like in 2009.
Well,
but they went like 8 holes, and no one was. I don't know.
I wouldn't doubt if he was in that 2001 playoff because that was the year he won like every fucking tournament.
Seriously.
I don't think he was. I'm reading it here. So Robert Allen, it was the Nissan Open.
Yeah.
Yoshizawa, Brandon
Now the Genesis.
Chambly,
Oh, yeah.
Paulson, Jess Sluman, Bob Tway.
Wow, that must have been electric television, dude.
Absolutely.
Then it
So,
happened in
so is it just
94
like
too.
Yep.
if you're not the lowest score, you get eliminated and you just play until, I mean, kind of like what happened yesterday. It was really unfortunate yesterday because all 3 of these guys had probably putts within 15 feet to win it, and none of them were even close.
No, they got to be so fucking nervous, dude. I can't imagine the pressure of that.
Especially a 3-man playoff.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's quite the, I would say, challenge to dude.
Dude, I was curious though about like Tiger Woods. So he's a playoff record. He has an 11-1 record in the playoffs, including 3-0 in major championships.
I'm looking at the search history right now. Sorry, of the computer, and it's why does my nose get so stuffy when I work out?
Oh my god.
Yeah, what the hell? I just
Google
noticed
that.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I know a lot of us have access to this email.
Dude, I'm taking a
It might
screenshot.
be Zane because I also see some. Well, no, I see
Why is my nose so stuffy when I work out?
some UFC stuff on there. That's why I thought it might have been him.
That's the 10K email.
Why does my nose get so stuffy
my
when I
nose
work
so
out?
stuffy when I
That's a
work-
good
But
question. I
that's-
guess I
don't-
can't answer that
I guess
for whoever.
you should actually like. No, I don't. No, we don't need to go to the side thing. But I was saying just enter that.
Yeah.
See what it says. See what Google says.
Yeah. What else do we have here? Yeah. So shout out to Aldrich Pottigreer, Potgeeter. That's how it's pronounced. Yeah, he won the 5th playoff hole. Finally made a birdie. No one else had made a birdie the entire time, which is ironic because these guys are birdieing every other hole. I think 17, which is a par 5, they were going like driver 9-iron.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like that's why all these renovations are happening to all these golf courses because the technology is getting so good that it's basically like cheating,
Players can hit so much further.
playing. Which now looking at that, I really hope for the 3M Open here in a couple weeks we can see a little bit of carnage. I don't know whether that's some rain. Not that I'm hoping for rain, but I'm hoping for some really shitty conditions because when the general golf fan base sees scores like that, they just assume the course is weak and sucks, and it's not always the case. It's so hard now to give these guys a good test. You know,
Yeah.
you need like an Oakmont or a Royal Portrush or like an Augusta to. It's just so hard now to prevent just a flurry of birdies, but that's kind of what it is. Unless it's in a playoff, then apparently you don't see any birdies
Exactly.
for 4 or 5 holes.
Try to just be conservative.
Yeah, other than that, that's all I had for golf. I don't know if you guys had anything else to talk about
No.
golf-wise.
I
It's a good
do.
tournament.
This is unrelated to pro golf, but I told you that one of my buddies played Oakmont.
Oh,
So he played it last week. He said they did cut the rough, but he shot a 78.
Wow.
He missed 3 fairways, and he got doubles on every single one that he missed the fairway.
yikes!
Wow.
So yeah, I mean that checks out with the analysis of the golf course. You got to hit the ball straight.
Yeah. He didn't play their tees, though. He said they were just too fucking far.
Oh,
And
yeah.
for him, who's about to scratch, he's like, yeah, dude, no way. Not a chance.
Gosh.
Yeah, no, you're
That just shows how
you're
hard
playing the
that.
member tees for
Oh,
sure if you
man.
do that.
No.
All right, this week in sports, the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, 4th of July, baby.
This is a big one.
It's a big one.
Yep.
Chestnut is back.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that last week. It's good.
Yeah.
Good news. 16-time winner, current record holder at 70.
Breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Panthers are running it back with Brad Marchand.
God damn it!
Oh, wow.
They're doing the whole team.
6-year extension.
6
6
years.
years? He's 37.
Am I getting
what?
punked? Yeah, 6-year extension.
Oh my God! They're running it back. They're good.
But 6 years?
They're gonna win the cup for the next 5 years in a row. We
They
might as
might.
well not even watch hockey.
Wait, Brad Marchand. Okay, no, wait. Yeah, he's 37. So he wants to play till he's 43?
They're gonna get LeBron next. I think.
Yeah, they might. And then maybe James Harden's going to switch his
Holy shit!
switch
Wow.
and go to the
So, in a matter of 4 days, the Florida Panthers have, after seeming like it was going to be quite the hill to climb, they're running back Brad Marchand, Aaron Ekblad, and Sam Bennett. Yeah, sick free agency, everyone. God damn it!
that's so honestly just like
There's not a single player on that team that is leaving, right? At least notable players.
yeah. The only thing is if there are other teams now that get assets or prospect pools and develop players here in the next year, or a team like the Wild, they just acquire the right players in free agency that can compete against the Panthers with the right combination of players, a new combination of players, and the Panthers can't handle it. But
It's
other
kind of
than
like
that,
the
they're gonna-
everyone versus them now.
It is. Everyone's trying to.
It's kind of
match
like
their-
it's kind of like betting on Scotty Scheffler in a major. You either take him or the field.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be like take the Panthers or the rest of the league to win the cup. God, I mean, I would have, dude. It looked like they were having way too much fun. I'm like, no way these guys don't return. Wonder what the AAV on that's going to be?
I'll look.
Because I heard he could have made up to like 9 or 10 if he had gone to someone like the Leafs. But, dude, Boston fans, someone check in on Brewer fans or Bruins fans right now. They got to be. This has just got to be because a lot of them said, well, he'll win his cup and he'll retire at home. No.
It says so. Pierre LeBrun, Brad Marchand is staying in Florida. He hasn't quite signed the deal just yet, but he's agreed. So there's no details. So
Classic.
Wow, that's crazy. 6 years?
yeah,
That's insane.
and my guess he'll make 6. I think
He'll make at least 6, maybe 7.
That's nuts, man.
I-
I mean, you look so good in the playoffs,
looks
man.
so
I mean,
good.
and
Well, there's got to be at least someone on that fucking team who has to leave, right?
Not anyone important.
It's like they
apparently.
signed.
It's like the Jesse Pinkman meme. Like they can't keep getting away with this.
I can't keep getting away with this.
Like that's what they got Seth Jones locked up for
That guy.
4 or 5 years. They have Bob for I don't know how much time he has left, but why wouldn't he resign?
Yeah, right.
like, in
They
a
have
couple
team to
years.
win.
God, they're going to be a dynasty.
I know.
They're absolutely going to be a dynasty. You
They already
can't-
are. I
You
mean-
can't. I mean, yeah, 2 years in a row is. I think
They've been
once,
there
once
3 years in a row. They've won it twice.
they've made it 3 years in a row. I think when you win your third one in a row, you're officially dynasty.
Yeah. Who did they lose to the first year? Was it
Vegas.
That was Vegas. That's funny. They could have won 3 years.
That was before all of these offseason moves they've made. It's,
Damn, dude. That's
I
insane, though.
I remember when I heard Ekblad, Sam Bennett, and Marchand. I'm like, well, I guarantee they re-signed 2 of those guys at best. Maybe
No, they're
one
going
of them at worst. But no, they get all 3 done. What, less than 2 weeks after winning
Yep.
the cup?
They're they're feeling really good.
Dude,
right
all you
now.
got to do is win
Bullshit.
once and you're set. And anyone will come play for you for whatever price.
The
Fuck
owners
it.
and GMs are just
Yeah.
living it up right now.
Yeah. I honestly thought it sounded like Marchand was actually going to go to Toronto, but that sounds like a miserable way to end your career.
No, he doesn't want. He just wins a cup and he wants to go to a team that is literally like the Wild right now and can't even make it out of a first round despite having probably a great team on paper.
The whole tax break thing,
Oh.
tax break thing, like take your golf cart to the rink, like it's perfect down there, dude.
Yeah.
They have such a good setup.
Nice Florida.
Back to hot dogs.
Yeah.
So
More important
yeah,
conversation.
Chestnut was quoted, "This event means the world to me. It's a cherished tradition, a celebration of American culture, and a huge part of my life." I agree. I agree with all that. That Joey Chestnut eating hot dogs on the 4th of July is a big deal to me too. It's a celebration of American culture and is also a huge part of my life.
Yeah, it's America's pastime, eating food.
Yeah.
It's America in a nutshell.
Did you guys know there's actually a qualifying event to get into this? That's how you get chosen.
I did not
That
know.
Victory Links.
like the 3M Open.
Yeah. It's,
No, I think the closest one to us is in Kansas, but
Okay.
I don't know what threshold there is, or if there's if it's like the top 10.
Yeah,
Either
top
way,
2.
you're qualifying just to get clapped. I mean, you're gonna at least be on TV, which
Mm-hmm.
is cool. But outside of that, like,
no one's gonna beat Joey Chestnut the way he consumes a dog, man.
Yeah.
A hot dog, I should say, not an actual dog. It's insane.
both the men's and women's winners get 10 grand. So not a bad payday for
No.
one day eating dogs. Although I did read that Chestnut begins his training in April for this. So he began in April, as he typically does, with practice contests simulating the 10-minute event. Could you imagine being like, yeah, I got to practice today and just eating 76 fucking hot dogs?
Oh,
And that's like practice?
I know. He probably eats a little less than that for
Yeah, I
practice.
suppose.
Maybe, then he
He
maybe
probably slowly climbs his way up.
Yeah.
Like maybe in April, you're kind of coming back from the time off, and you're like, all right, I'll do 30 today, and then I'll do 50 the next. It's still insane just saying it out loud.
builds up the space in the stomach. It just trains everything. It's just insane to me to watch him do that.
Do you know
but-
what's insane to me? How he's not morbidly obese. Like,
know.
that's actually super
Well,
impressive.
they can't be, because fat takes up more room in your stomach. There's science behind why being fat is not good for competitive eating.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
Have you
know.
seen how skinny Kobayashi is these days,
Yeah.
too? He's a stick.
I know, and he can consume so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something behind that. Like it's people think that someone like him that eats food for a living, you'd think would be fat, but I think they just do a contest, and then after that, they're probably extremely healthy.
You also, like, you have to basically be an athlete to do this. Like, you can't like not have muscle, and you can't not have like good healthy lungs. Like, you do need to be in good shape to be able to punish yourself without too many consequences.
You have to have a good colon too.
Yeah. You gotta have
Jeez.
good laxatives on
Good
you.
bowel movements, everything. Everything's got to be healthy. I can't even imagine.
Everything's got to be working.
Oh, goodness gracious.
His regimen involves overcoming the psychological barrier of feeling full, a skill honed since his 2007 debut. I'll be watching.
Yeah, I think I'll be
I always
tuning
tune in, too.
Be
Yeah,
cracking
we'll
my
see.
first beer by then, usually.
Yeah,
11 a.m. Eastern time, 10 or 11 a.m. Central is when it
I think
starts.
it's 11 a.m. Central.
Yeah.
Good old college football kickoff time.
Yeah.
Be good to go. I think his over-under I saw was set at like 71 and a half hot dogs. He's going to hammer that, right?
Smash
Yeah.
you over.
He's usually he's around 76, 77, but I think his record was 83, some hot dogs.
Well, and if we talked about it last week, but he didn't compete last year because of the whole brand dispute. Apparently, him and the hot dog contest, him and like Nathan's basically were holding out, kind of doing a little bit of a stalemate. And then Nathan's at the last second tried to say, "Okay, you're allowed back in," and he said, "I'm not doing it without an apology."
Yeah,
And
that's right.
they didn't apologize. So they were really close to actually having him do it last year, and then he said, "Not until you apologize."
Yeah, because I remember seeing that was some breaking news that was
was
circulating. Breaking Joey Chestnut might still participate here, blah, 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 and then it didn't happen. And then whoever won, I forgot who it was, didn't even nearly get to the number that
Yeah.
Joey Chestnut would have had. So
There was also a clip of him at, I think it was a Washington Nationals game,
oh gosh.
or maybe it was a Capitals playoff game. Either way, it was in D.C. Someone was like talking to him and interviewing him almost, and they're like, "How many hot dogs could you eat right now?" And he was hammered.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I could eat fucking 100 hot dogs right fucking now."
Yeah,
And
I'm
his-
sure he
His
could.
wife like pulled him away. She's like, "Get over here."
Yeah, right.
He was trashed. It was good stuff.
Like, don't
but-
get into one of these drunk eating competitions right now.
Yeah, you've already had enough.
Yeah, right?
All right, you want to talk about the Twins?
No. No.
Yeah.
I'm just, I don't know, dude. I feel
not a
bad.
lot.
Byron Buxton, good for him.
Fucking up the baseball right now.
He's played 64 of 81 games so far, which is good.
A record.
A record, especially for him. Probably gonna make the All-Star team.
If he doesn't,
needs
that
to
is a
make the
travesty.
All-Star team. That might be the one positive that comes out of this year is Buxton kind of rejuvenating his career and hopefully finding a little more
Well-
reliability in his body.
It's like the first time Buxton is the most sustainable or consistent in terms of his health in his career. We have some of the worst pitching we have seen ever.
Yeah, Bailey Ober ties the team record for 14 home runs allowed in June.
Yep. So he's had back-to-back starts where he's given up at least 3 homers.
That's crazy.
It's great.
Yeah, on the underline, I made a picture of him throwing a meatball. Because, dude, and what's crazy was he was all like, so the 3 home runs he gave up, he was ahead in the count. So it was like a 1-2 count or a 2-2 count, and then you would throw it right down the fucking middle, and then it's out.
It's like that's just not what you're supposed to do as a
No.
professional pitcher. You throw a breaking ball, you get him fishing, throw it outside the zone.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to
That's not-
Denard Span, who was on the call. He's like, that is,
yeah.
he was literally one of them. He's like, that is an awful pitch. Like,
Yeah.
you have to throw it outside the zone, just like Jake was saying. It's,
Yeah.
Oh, I feel bad for him, though, because I know for a fact those fucking morons are giving him death threats or getting to his head because he's not this bad.
No, he has been so much better, but everybody's just been pitching bad. I mean, who's the only guy that has remotely had a good? Well, David Festa won the other night with that was a good. It just
Yeah.
came out of nowhere. You beat Detroit, and you're like, oh, and then we just dropped the next two. So
Yeah,
it's like,
Joe Ryan's having a great season. So shout
yeah,
out Joe.
he's had a couple. He's struggled a little bit too, like everyone else has in June, but he hasn't looked as bad as some of these other pitchers that have. But
It was almost like when Pablo fell, like
it fucked something
it
up.
was like the core. I mean, everyone had to bump up a position, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, because now your new ace is Joe Ryan, pretty much.
Screwed up the entire chemistry of the rotation.
Yeah.
Something because we were playing still pretty decent when Pablo before he went down. I know
Yeah.
something happened, and Pablo Lopez gets injured. No, go figure. So
So the question becomes with Buxton, like, what do we do? Are we wasting his prime? He's finally,
yeah.
he's
Oh,
finally,
for
he's
sure.
finally playing his best baseball. Like, do we trade him at this point? Do we
So,
rebuild?
I've been reading a lot of stuff that
Phillies, people keep saying he's a good fit for the Phillies.
Well,
so I don't know if they're
I've
actually.
seen, I've read from Gleeman that the owners do not want to be sellers, and I don't either. But
They should sell the team.
yeah,
Figure
they
that
should
out
sell
first.
the team, but they're still in it, which is crazy to think because we went 9-18.
Yeah,
in
we're only
June.
2.5 games back of a wild card spot.
That's not a lot in baseball.
Oh,
It's
no.
not at all.
3 months left?
Still
Yeah,
3 months
but-
of baseball left.
But we just, I don't know, man. If we don't figure out this pitching situation, we are so fucked. Like,
Okay, so the Pohlads don't want to sell at the deadline, then buy.
yeah.
Don't do nothing.
Buy it.
Just don't do nothing.
We will do
like
absolutely nothing. I can almost guarantee it.
God.
We'll sign like some guys to minor league deals. That's my prediction.
Bring Randy Dobnik up for a few games just so you can have fun with the whole Uber thing, and then send him back down.
Sake.
That should be a quick hit. Quick hit for ticket sales. I don't know.
Buying it and selling it, going back and forth on that reminds me of that Eric Andre bit where he was on the street like he was a Wall Street guy. He's like, well, buy it, sell it. I don't care. And then he proceeds to vomit.
Yeah.
Buy it, sell it. I don't care.
Literally the Pohlads. They show up,
Buy it.
they just scream stuff, and then probably leave.
Yeah, and freak people out. And like, what was that? I don't know.
Not sure what that was.
Yeah.
Another positive is if Buxton can keep smashing home runs, he actually might be in the home run derby. So we got that.
Yeah.
Got that going for us.
It'd be cool to see him do that.
It would be.
Good to see a twin in the world. When was the last time we saw a twin in the home run derby?
I know Morneau was, but I think we had another one.
That was years ago.
Yeah, I know, but that's
Definitely had someone
all
during
right.
the
Was
Bomber
Jim
squad.
was Jim
Miguel
Thome
Sano.
when Jim Thome played with the Twins?
Nelson Cruz was he in the home run
Oh,
derby
he
with-
had to
with
be
the
in
Twins?
it.
Well, he had been in it. But wasn't he with the
I
Twins?
feel like Sano could have been in it.
I think
He might have snuck
someone
in it.
during the Bomba squad was in it, but they did
Yeah.
really bad in it.
Miguel Sano is
dude. It's literally
Brian Dozier. Miguel Sano. Yeah, there you go.
Dozier and Miguel Sano.
Okay.
Yeah.
2017. Miguel
Miguel
Sano.
Sano. Wow,
It's
so-
been 8 years.
That wasn't even the 2019 Bomba Squad year.
It's been 8 years.
Wow, 8 years.
Come on.
Yeah, we need someone in the home run derby. I remember Morneau being in it, and that
You
was
won
so
it.
fun. Yeah, wasn't that
Yeah.
great?
It was fucking
That
great.
was
I love
awesome.
Morneau.
Hang the banner.
Morneau, yeah, hang it now. Just hang that up. You gotta hang
Um,
something.
Yeah, I also
Honor
had some
'em.
Brewers fans who were chirping me for the whole Buxton doing the buck truck thing. I'm like, just let us have it.
Yeah.
We're trying right now to do something. Can you let us have the truck thing?
Mm-hmm.
Just let us fucking have that. You just swept me. You swept
Yeah.
us. You rubbed it in my face. Don't take this from me now.
Yeah.
That's all I got is Buxton doing this thing.
I'm still come on. I'm a fan of this team. I want to see something positive.
Pull ads.
Still something.
Just buy players or sell the team. That's the
Buy
only
it, sell it.
buying and selling that should be happening. No other. I don't know.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Sarge, what else you got? You're the Twins guy.
I don't know. The Detroit's going to be an issue for a long time. That Scrubble guy is no fucking joke. He struck out 13 guys. Like
Yeah.
that we
He's
just
sick.
we just knew, like, we were discussing in the other line chat. We're like, yeah, dude, this is for sure fucking L. And he's a lefty too, which just brings a whole nother deal. But I don't know, man. I keep going back to the joke of Jake was saying we peaked too early, but like it's literally it's a thing. It's a real thing. So I don't know. How do we reverse that is what I want to know.
Well, we just got Tarasenko.
Yeah.
Maybe he can train with the Twins, and maybe he's got a bat in there. I don't know.
We need a
We
pitcher.
start just moving around players that we get from other teams to see if they can come in and boost something.
I feel like Matt Zuccarello could be a good pitcher.
Yeah,
Like he's got something.
he's got something going there. I don't know. Throw Justin Jefferson in the field.
Yeah, he'd be a sick outfielder.
Yeah,
would be.
No one would. He'd be diving for singles,
he would be.
diving for
He'd
everything.
be going after it all, but you get injured. We can't afford that.
All right, let's talk merch, folks. We got a ton of awesome merch, especially coming up. I believe I saw 25% off for the 4th of July sale.
15.
15% off 4th of July sale. Any orders over $75, shipping is free. 10ktakesmn.com. A lot of cool gear, stuff to get you through your summer. Some new Captain's Patch stuff on there. Go check it out. Supports us directly. 10ktakesmn.com. Check out the full collection and get your 15% off for the 4th of July. Woohoo! All right. So is this boom and bust segment, right? We got there? Okay. So for those who don't know this is a little segment from our old It's a Bit show, but it's pretty simple, and it's very fitting considering we just had 2 major league drafts in the last weekend. But boom and bust, we're just going to go around the room. We're going to name one really good thing that has panned out or will pan out. That's a boom. And then we're going to go through our busts, which are obviously negative things that did not pan out, did not work out, will not work out, etc. Let's start with you, Sarge, behind the camera. What do you got?
So my boom, Bossman and I were talking about this. It's F1, the
Yep.
movie. That movie fucking rocks. Go see it.
So
It was
good.
electric. It literally a 10 out of 10. Wouldn't you say? Like, no joke. Like,
Yeah.
we joke about that all the time, but like seriously, amazing.
I think the hardcore F1 fans would probably find criticism, but they're fucking sitting over in England right now, probably in the pouring rain, eating fish and chips, and God knows what else they do over the pond, not getting dentistry work. The Europeans probably were like, well, this is what happens when American actors play racing, whatever. I guess one of the guys is British. What's his name?
Lil Nas X.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought that was him. I actually did. It's
Oh,
not.
God,
but-
that's racist.
No, did they look exactly
That guy
alike?
did not look like Lil Nas X.
Oh my gosh, I'm pulling this up.
Pull up the
I don't
actor's
know.
name.
I don't know, Sarge.
Anyways, I agree. It was a great movie. 2.5 hours flew by.
Flew by.
I was surprised.
Okay, we got to do this. My brother and I agree.
Okay.
You know, I also won't fault you.
Are
Yeah,
you
okay,
kidding me,
okay,
guys?
I can
this
see it
looks
now.
exactly like each other.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
I can see it.
Definitely.
Damson, what's his name? Damson Idris is the British actor's name who was in the movie. Yeah. Great
Damson
movie.
Idris.
Great movie, dude.
What are the ratings on it so far? I know so far in the box office, it did like 300 million its first weekend, which is pretty good.
It's got 83% on Rotten Tomatoes and
a
7.9.
really good score. those
yeah,
harsh critics, that's a really good score.
That's
Honestly,
that's a
like
good score.
I read a review of it too. You don't even need to be a super big racing head.
I don't know anything about F1, and I loved it.
Like I would say out of like 10, I'm like a 6 or 7 out of 10 in terms of a racing fan. Like I'm a big fan, but not like the most hardcore. And I would agree that I think anyone would like that movie.
Yes.
You know, it sounds like it's like a more of like come from behind,
Yeah.
comeback story type
Right.
of stuff.
It's sweet, and
So-
it like now I have to watch that Netflix documentary about it. But like I can't believe all that goes into it because I was my dad's
dude.
a F1 guy, and I was like, man, like this is not ruin the movie, but like all the technology behind. He's like, oh yeah, no, that's real. I'm like, no, so this isn't just Hollywood. He's like, no, this is the real deal.
It's insane. Like, and the work they put in to be able to drive these cars 200 miles an hour up to 200 miles. It's insane stuff. I definitely recommend
Yeah. Also,
seeing it.
NASCAR might be lame. Like,
Compared to F1, it kind of is, to be honest. But NASCAR is every week.
It's
So is
sweet.
IndyCar, which is cool.
Yeah.
F1 is not every week, and half the time it's over the world, around the
Yeah,
world, and like
weird
you have
times.
to wake up at like 6 a.m. to watch the race, which I just never do. The American races are cool though. They have one in Austin, one in Miami, and one in Vegas every year.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go because they just got a new fan. I thought that was
Yeah,
electric.
dude, watch Drive to Survive. You're hooked now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're in.
What's your bust?
All right, my bust is our fucking AC unit, dude.
It is busted.
Guys, the one it doesn't work, and it's so hot in here. We bitch about it every week, but like seriously, like if you watch closely on YouTube or you're watching right now, you can see these guys sweating.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I mean, I am too, but it's you need to
Hashtag
figure that out.
athletes.
It's
Yeah.
like a sauna in here, Yeah. Sweat it out,
It's although it's not as bad. Our Prior Lake studio, which is before your time, Sarge, they had, for whatever reason, I have no idea why. You know those vents on the outside of houses that shoot hot air out from like the HVAC system?
Yes.
For God knows whatever reason, one of those was directly in our suite, shooting hot air from a vent into our suite. I think we tried to cover it. We tried to cover it with stuff, and I don't know if they got mad at us, but we're like, okay, this building is supposed to have central air. It definitely didn't. We definitely
didn't touch
put
our
in
room.
multiple maintenance requests saying, hey, where's that central air? We feel it in the hallway, can't feel it in here. Oh, hey, by the way, we just realized there's a fucking vent blowing hot air into our studio. So not only are we not getting the cold air, but you're bringing hot air, you're filtering it all in here.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's hot in here. We're
It
gonna keep
is.
bitching about it, but yeah,
It
AC
is.
unit, big time bust.
Yeah, that is a bust. It is busted. I'll submit a maintenance request. and
Legitimately
be like,
busted.
hey, this is not working. All right, Jake, what do you got?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a few things to talk about, but when we brought this up, my boom is PJ Flex recruiting. Lately, has been on fire, and he's been doing some the Lord's work with what he's been doing for Go for Football, a place that's been tough and historically tough to recruit. He's been doing great things, and hopefully, it means that we're going to be in a playoff in the next few years, or make one of the playoffs, or make the playoffs, I should say. So, I give that a big boom. A boom!
Boom!
Oh,
Did you guys see they filmed a video at the
Yeah.
Mall of America?
Yeah, they did. They're like,
No
we keep
way.
bringing it or something, or what was another boom video they came out with, their boom song.
Yeah.
I saw they were at Legoland and that big age or AJ's
Big Justice.
like Big Justice. They're like doing the boom. They're like, can you imagine us being at the Mall of America and you just see them walking around, just
Rizzler?
yelling boom? Yeah, and the Rizzlers walking around. Just I noticed that too. I'm like, is that the fucking Mall of America?
Yeah.
They're at Legoland. They're not at Costco. Okay.
I saw a comment on that on one of those videos where it's like, today's a day I wish I did not have the ability to hear.
I know. It was pretty cringy. But, I mean,
tough.
that's kind of what they go for. They go.
They're kind of
for-
just they're kind of like musicians now. I mean, the Rizzler's got his whole thing. He's a superstar at this point.
But for them to stay relevant, because we bring the boom. I mean, that kind of.
The whole Costco thing is there's only so much you can do at
No.
Costco.
Yeah, so it's like that. But they're trying to stay relevant, like they're like a musical artist coming up
Yeah.
with new songs. But you're literally just recycling your songs, just throwing in the word boom.
Well, and Big AJ, or the dad, he was a professional wrestler, and I thought he was dabbling back into it. I know
Yeah.
he even they did some stuff with WWE.
Yep.
I remember, or maybe that was AEW.
Yeah, I think
Just
yeah.
a super interesting timeline. And I remember everyone being pissed when they found out they were from Florida. They're
Yeah.
like, I definitely thought this was like East Coast trash, New Jersey.
Yeah, no, they're Florida
No,
people.
these guys are from Florida, which is even
which
kind
kind of makes sense, I guess. Yeah, it is worse. Yeah,
Yeah, Boca
funny.
Raton, I think.
yeah. They're Florida people. They
All right,
seem
what's
like
your bust?
I gotta. Well, I was gonna say the 90 plus degree weather and humidity because that's going with Sarge. But I'll say my bust for the week: drinking and partying till 5 a.m. and dealing with the consequences. And then I had to play softball last night. That sucked. And then waking up this morning playing golf, which was amazing. You had to be up early when I probably should have been trying to catch up on sleep, but I'll sleep when I'm dead.
There you
so
go.
that's a bust of just. But the boom of the whole situation was, my brother got married. Great, congratulations. That was an awesome time. But my bust was just not making the smartest decisions in doing that over the weekend, and especially after being outside in the heat for 12 hours.
Yeah,
Probably doesn't help. But no,
the
It's
heat
still
will wear
fun.
you down.
it will. And then you start drinking on top of it.
Oh my God.
Gosh.
Summer weddings are a gauntlet
Yeah.
to survive.
Especially if you're in the wedding.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, I know you can be we were able to go in a place that had like AC, like, because it was on like a farm, but it still wasn't the coldest in there because it was so
Yeah.
hot. It was an older building. So it was like the area we were in, it was still it was still pretty warm.
Yeah.
It was warm. It was cooler than going outside, but it still wasn't like we never really felt like we fully cooled off until it got dark out.
Right.
We were at the venue at like 11 a.m. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, summer weddings in general, like I get, it is the perfect time to have weddings, obviously, especially outdoor weddings. But it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of that having to do with the weather is well, I like that it's warm and all that great, grand, wonderful, but the humidity sucks.
Oh.
The 95-degree humidity, if it can stay like it kind of what it was, even today has been okay.
Yeah.
Outside of this building, it's obviously going to be hot in here with their AC unit being busted, but that 90-plus degree weather and humidity, it's not
Yeah.
dry heat, it's
Right.
humid air.
It's just
sucks.
Yeah. All right, my boom is railgating.
Dude, big
yeah.
boom.
Big boom.
Big boom.
Big boom.
Bring the boom.
Sarge and I have been chugging Fireball on the light rail on the way to Twins games.
Yep.
And I think it's the move.
Dude, it's the move. It's funny. So I was golfing at Tannersbrook on Sunday, and one of my buddy's dads was like, I don't know how I told him I work for 10K Takes. He had no idea. He saw it on the reel, and he's like, oh my God, I didn't know you worked for these guys. I'm like, yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, he loved it, and he's like 65.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Shout out also to everyone calling us pussies for not smoking crack or shooting H.
That's how you have the true
we're
railgate
not,
experience.
That's the final boss of railgating. We're gonna get there.
Crack with me.
I think
Heroin.
we did determine though we're gonna evolve this with Vikings games. I think we got to bring beers next time.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get more elaborate. I know this will never happen, but I would imagine a final boss being like bringing cornhole on there and like a grill. Obviously, you cannot bring a grill on the light rail and just
No.
start fucking
Fire hazard.
smoking meats. But I think that in my mind, I'm like I could see railgating turning into like this whole thing where we have all these people, coolers of beer. You're pretty much going to get arrested probably or banned from the light rail, which would be unfortunate. But
I mean, shit, they barely arrest people injecting themselves
smoking,
with
yeah,
drugs
yeah.
with arms. I mean, they shouldn't be arresting
Yeah,
you
but
for.
we're like easy targets. Like I'm not going to be the one that is going to press police. Whatever they tell me, I'm going to do it. So
they did check our tickets
They
when we
did.
filmed that video, which was good. I think
Yeah,
you got to
it
check
shows
tickets.
enforcement.
That's how you keep the riffraff off of it.
Yeah. So you keep the fellas off the light rail.
Yeah, a lot of fellas.
That's good.
One fella was just passed out, and the cop I think he was actually about to light a cigarette, and the cop woke him up. He's like, "Hey man, you can't do that." He's like, "Oh okay."
yeah.
That was about it. And then we were just chugging Fireball. So, railgating deserves a big boom. My bust is driving back from the 4th of July, or really any cabin experience, really any trip in general. Driving back is just driving there is like the best feeling ever. You're excited. If you're riding with people, you're
Hungover.
You're ready to go, ready for some sun, some fireworks, some drinks, some good food. You're just pumped, and that drive back is just like kill me now. Take me
rough.
now, God.
Because you probably have to work the next day.
Yep.
So you're getting the anxiety from the Sunday Scaries, but you're also probably having anxiety from being hungover, the anxiety.
Yep.
And then
I mean, just packing so much fun into a few days and then just having to drop it all and come back and stop on a dime is painful. So that's more of a pre-bust because it's not quite here yet. It hasn't happened yet, but I know it's like that pick in the draft that you're like, that guy's going to be a bust. Like, you don't even have to wait till he gets drafted. You're like, that guy's going to suck in the pros.
Yep.
That's this. I already know Sunday's drive is going to be awful. So
It's gonna happen.
that's my bust. But all right.
Unfortunate.
That just about does it, folks, for another episode of 10K TV. Have a great 4th of July. Make sure to drink some Captain's Patch out on the lake this weekend. You can get it anywhere at captainspatch.com. Total Wines, MGMs, all sorts of places, all sorts of bars. Bring it with you on the boat. Tag us in any photos you take.
Please.
Tag 10K Takes. Tag Captain's Patch. We'll repost you. Give your story some love. But thank you, folks, so much. Oh, also check out the merch. 10ktakesmn.com. 15% off. $75 orders or over. Get you free shipping. 10ktakesmn.com. But thank you, folks, so much for listening, watching 10K TV, and we will see you next week.